Welcome to Tech Brothers with Amir. Today we are going to learn how to use pivot transformation in SSIS package. First of all, we will get to know why do we need to use the pivot transformation. Second part, we will be performing a demo where we will be converting the row data to the column data by using pivot transformation. So let me take you to the Excel sheet here and show you my input data. So this is the input data I have with person name, sale year, sale month, and sale amount. If you take a look here, each of the month is repeating because we have the sale for different months. What we want to do, this is a row data. We want to convert that data into the columns. So new format, what we want, this is the way we want that. This is our input, and in the yellow we see the output. By using the pivot transformation, we can achieve that. Now this is the exact same data I have put in the text file, and I'm going to show you that text file. So this is exact same data what I showed you in Excel. I'm putting here so we can read from the this text file and then convert by using the pivot transformation to the required output. Let me close this one. Let's go to the SSDT and then create a new SSIS package. As we need to read the data from the flat file, I will be using data flow task. Open the data flow task. Inside the data flow task, we will be using the flat file source. Bring that, double click, new, and then browse to the file. So once you browse to the file, it is going to select few of the things automatically. That's fine. Column names in the first data row, that's correct. We do have that, and it is shown as columns. It is tab delimited file, so fine. Go to advanced. Let's change the data type of few of the columns. Person name is a string, 50, fine. Sale year, it should be a number, right? So dt underscore I4, that's integer. Sale month, that's string, that's fine because we have January, February, and March, April. And sale amount should be integer as well. So let me change that. Now go to preview, hit OK, everything looks good. Retain null values from the source as null values in the data flow. If we are getting some blank values and we want to convert them to the null, this is where we are going to use it. Now go to columns, everything looks good. Bring the pivot transformation. Under the common transformations, you would not see the pivot transformation, so we have to bring from the other transformations. One thing I want to mention here before, if somebody is watching this video and they have SSIS 2005 or 2008, this demo is not applicable, or you cannot use the same method what I'm using here, because the pivot transformation has changed from 2008 to 2012 or 2014. So in the latest versions such as 2012 and latest, this is same, but in old versions it is a little different. So you might have to take a look by yourself on Microsoft website or maybe Google, some other blog. Now let me connect a flat file to the pivot transformation, and here we see a few things. So pivot key, values in the input data from this column will become new column names in the output. So let me open this Excel. I will suggest you guys, if you are creating this SSIS package, always have your input data here and convert by yourself to the output. It will be much easy for you to distinguish or find out, okay, which column should be going where. And as you can see that this is the value which is becoming new columns here. So we know that sale month. So come back here, we select sale month here. Those are the values that they will become the column names. Next, set key, identify a group of input rows that will pivoted into one output row. The input data must be sorted on this column. So in our case, if we go back here, we take a look. What we see here is that column that can be used for this purpose, right? And what I'm going to do here, I did not use the sorted data here. We can use it here, but this might create incorrect results. So we can go ahead and sort that value and come back real quick. So let me come back here. let's sort this value. Otherwise there is a possibility it can create some wrong information for us. So let's go to sort and let's sort that. So we have to sort a sale year, and this is what we are going to sort. Pass through, fine. This is just passing it as it is. We can call this one output column, maybe call it underscore sort. So that's what we can call. Hit OK. Now connect the sort transformation to the pivot. Let's go back and configure it one more time. Here remember we need to select the sale month because that's the column that has the values that those are going to become column names. So these will become column names here. Next, here we will be using year, sale year, and it is sorted data. And next we have the pivot value, the value, actual value we need to use. So in this case, if you see that here, these are the values. So these are the values here in this column, and they will become something like this once they are pivoted. So sale amount is our column. Sale amount, fine. As of now, if we will click, it is shown as value 1, value 2, value 3, and that's where we need to provide all those values by ourselves. So we have to provide these values here. So we need to copy all these values. It should be distinct values. We should put here in this format with parentheses and all that. Let's say I don't know, there are so many values and I don't want to write by myself. So what I can do, I can hit this one, say ignore unmatched pivot key values and report them after data flow execution. And if you see hint here, choose to ignore unmatched pivot key values, execute this data flow in the debugger and copy the value list reported in the debugger's output window. So once we will hit here and then we go and hit OK, this will generate all those values for us and we can copy and paste here. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit OK. Let's run this one. And as you can see in the output window, you have those month names with the parentheses. You can copy from here, or you can go to progress, and if you are in the progress, the same thing is here. You can click on this row and say copy message text and just paste it and remove this part and use it. So I have already copied from the output window. Output window is from view, output, and that's where the output window is. So stop this package. Let's go back, go to the pivot, and now let's paste those values here. So Control V. The order doesn't really matter here. Even you will put in an order, once the columns will be created, they will be totally not in order, or maybe they will be in order. I don't see that, but I have done something and I don't see they will be in order, and it doesn't really matter. You can create the order in the output file. If you need to create in a different order, you can always map them in order and create your file. So now we can leave this part, ignore unmatched pivot. I will come back to this one as well and show you what error it will create if we have some unmatched values from these values. So let's say we have April 1 or April 2 or some say test value in these column values. So they are here in the sale month. If we get some value beyond or different from these values, then it will throw error. So I'm going to show you and we will fix that. Now next we will hit generate columns now. So once we will hit that, it is going to pop up this thing, and it give us option copy message text. We don't need to copy it. Okay, so this is what it is going to create. I don't like this part at all. So it is creating C underscore April and sale amount and all those kind of columns, and I want to create April, January, February, and totally those columns. So we will go ahead and do it later. Hit OK. Bring the multicast just so we can put the data viewer and show you the records and how they look like. Double click here, go to data viewer, and you see that all those columns are selected. One thing, if you notice here, one of the column is missing. That's the sale person, because there was no way we could use that column here in the pivot. We have these options, but we don't have option to pass those columns. Those columns we want to just pass as it is. Well, let me show you this. If I run this package now, this is what it is creating. So it creates the sale year, and then it has all those values. So for some of the years we don't have the values, and for some of them we have the values, but whatever it is shown as those values. We don't want to create something like that. We want to have sale person, we want to have year, we want to have say April, August, December and all that. We don't want C underscore December and sales amount and all that. So let me go ahead and make some changes. Now first of all, we want to use those columns which are in the input, but pivot did not give us option to add. So right click on the pivot, go to advanced, and then go to input columns, select that column. So that column has to be selected here. Once the column is selected, go to input and output properties, and here in the pivot default inputs we have input columns, and you will see person name. Once you see the person name, take a look on the lineage ID and just copy this lineage ID. So in our case it is 50. Next you will go to the pivot default output, and then click here on the positive sign, and then you will click on the output columns, and you will see all those columns which are created. Here click on the output columns, add a column, and we are going to call this one sale person. Once you click here, you can tell like what data type and all that you want. Before even you go ahead and tell the data type, you will say source column. So it is a -1 as of now. You will provide that value. In our case it is a 45. Once I change to 45, it automatically took the string and the length is 50. So that's fine. This is exactly we have read by using the flat file source. Now these columns are not really great column names. So what I want to do, I want to rename them. So sale year, this is what the name it is right now. So I just want to call it sale year. So I'm going to remove this one, hit OK. I want to go to the April, remove C and sale amount. So the left will be April. Go to the other. So this is the way you will keep changing them. So let's say you have hundreds of column, you will be making changes to hundreds. So I don't know, does that matter? Even you have sale amount and the C underscore, and why you care about that? But anyways, this is the way you will be changing those columns. So let me do it quickly now. I don't want to waste the time here. You guys are gonna not like me just for wasting time on the changing column names, but that looks good, right? If you will see the correct format or the format you want in, that's very important, right? For especially when you are creating Excel file and all that, you can use these columns in the derived column and change the names there, or you can have in the destination, just map to the destination and try to change there as well. So that will, no big deal, you can do it. There are so many options we have at different places we can do it. But let me finish this one here as of now so I can show you. It would be nice, whatever they have asked us in the list, maybe create the same column names. But anyways, maybe there is something we are missing here, and they know better than us. I'm talking about Microsoft. So anyways, whatever they have it, you can change it. It's not gonna hurt. Rest of these are the pivot values here. These are the values. By using these values, these column, this will be the column name, and the value against this pivot key value will be, that's a sale amount that will be used in front of it. So that will be used. So hit OK. Let's go back to the data viewer. Now we have the person name. Let's add that, and you can always go back and we have sale year and sale person, doesn't matter in the sequence, but you can remove them and put in them in sequence. Hit OK. Run the package now. It works just great. So we have sale year, so we have name, and then finally we have correct column names: April, August, December, and all that. You can put them in sequence if you want. As I told you, there is no big deal. You can map to any destination. The one thing we are missing here, if some key value is coming, that's not what we have defined in the values, what happened then? So let me go ahead and make a change. So let's say it's coming January, and we have added 1. So we save the value. Now let's go back and run the package. Now the pivot failed. Why it failed? Remember here the values what we have put here was January, February, March, April, and all those kind of thing. So it is going to take those pivot values. So in the sale month we don't have January 1. That's what it is looking for. So that's why it is creating problem for us. So in those cases you will have issue. What we can do, we have different ways to handle that. One thing, we can say ignore unmatched pivot key values and report them after the data flow execution. So this is one way to do it. So now if I run this package, let's see what happened. So it passed, right? But let me take this. It read 14 rows, and then it ignored that value and then passed it. So let me make few more changes. Or if you don't want to change this part, you don't want to ignore it, you can have this one here and then go to the properties, and here go to properties, and you can set validate pass through unmatched is equal to true. If you do that, this is the same thing what you are doing here. So you're checking here, or you want to pass those pivot key values. If they don't match it, you just want to pass it through, you can do it. So let me go to the file one more time, and let's put one more record. I hope we will have correct information here. Instead of February, let's remove these, and now let's make this one 2009. And now we don't have this in the pivot key values. Let's see what happened with this record as we are ignoring. Run the package, and you can see that the RASA for 2009 is passed, but all those columns are null values. So this is what happened. So if you don't have the matching pivot key value, it will let it pass, but in those values you will see the null. It did not take the value of sale amount for any month, because it does not match with any of our given month, because we have put the wrong spelling for February. Now this is how you can do it, but your package will fail if you are not ignoring that part. So you can use the ignore part, or by right click and go to the properties. So see, it failed. Let's take a look. So we go to view, we go to the output, and you will see here the value, and that will tell us like what happened. So if in the error, you can see that this is the month or pivot key value, this is what we have put, but that does not match in the list that we provided at the time here, or that does not match with the values here and here when we configured it. So that's the reason. But if you want to add them, I don't see. I don't know. Let's take a look if we can add that only single value and see. Okay, that's actually the value, and now from today, that's value is going to be part of this package. So let's give a try. We have already added few values. This is the extra value we are adding, just testing. Now we'll say generate column. It generated the column. Hit OK. Now if we run this one, now this is a value we have added, and let me take a look. This time we are not gonna. We have removed the ignore part, and if you go here with the pass through values set to false, so it should fail if still it feels like okay, the value is not there, but we have added the value. Now we will see if this works. So still it is failing. Why it is failing? Let's take a look. So now it is in January 1. So we have added another value that was January 1. Now we can go ahead and add the January 1 as well if we want. Let me actually go ahead and remove it. Why we care? Because we are already testing with one value. This is a FEB or Y, so it doesn't matter. We have two values of one. We have already know, like, okay, we can add the value. So now I just want to show you if that really happened. So in 2000 this, let's open this one. It is still showing us null values. Let me take a look. Did we have open it here? Let's go back to the, sorry, we see this is C fabric sale. We need to add that here in the data viewer. So the column is there. We didn't add in the display names, so that was not showing. Now we add that. Now let's run the package again, and this time we should see that column value come in there. So now if we see, let me see where it is. So that's where it is. See, C February sale amount. So that did came for 2009 and for Raza. So that is the option. We can go ahead and add new values. So one more thing. I mean, this is wonderful. But if you see that here, what happened? If a new value need to be added, we have to come back and change in the package. I'm not sure if there is a property and where I can go in the expressions and then pass that value automatically. So I'm still curious, like, if that can be possible. Let me go ahead and the data flow task. You guys are not going to like me. I'm going to go to properties, and here I will see if that's available on the data flow, and I can build that entire pivot key value list in the expressions, and that will help, right? If tomorrow our column list change, if we can pass through by using the expressions, and that way we don't have to come back and open our package. So we have, let me open this, make it big. We have these are the outputs, and let me see, we have if we have something like, say, pivot key values, I don't see that here. So seems like it is whatever it is, so we can't really go back and change it. And here each value is coming here, we can't really add that part. We have each pivot default output is coming here. If it will be list, I might go ahead and create the expressions and build them. So I don't see this is a good idea coming back here and try to make it more dynamic. If you want to make it more dynamic, my suggestion is dump your data into the SQL server and then just use the pivot operator there, because we have the pivot operator there, and we can use those different dynamic column list and everything, and then create the required output. But this is great when you have some static values such as month name and all those kind of things. Month names are not going to change, and but there are scenarios where, let's say, you have regions, and a region can be added or deleted. In those cases, you might want to have this one as a dynamically created. In that case, I will just dump into the SQL server and then use your pivot, and you can use dynamic SQL there. Thanks very much for watching this video, and I will see you guys in next video.